Hello, all of you racing enthusiasts and adrenaline junkies. Today we're going to be talking about Redline. Redline is a 2009 anime directed by Takeshi Kiyoki. Takeshi's done more animation than directing, so his directing list isn't that crazy. But judging from how many people have vouched for Redline, I'm going to give this one a shot. A lot of the voice actors in this movie are from live action stuff, which is unique because a lot of the anime are from other anime, you know what I mean? Tadanobu Asano, who voiced Frisbee, is from Shogun, 47 Ronin, Mortal Kombat, and even Thor. Kenyu Horiochi, who voiced Titan, is from Bullet Train. Link in the description, I've done a review on that movie. And from Doro Hedoro. Unsho Ishizuka, who played Volton, voiced Jet Black from Cowboy Bebop, and Professor Oak from Pokemon. And Kenta Miyake, who voiced Little Daizuna, is All Might from My Hero Academia. So what's the movie about? It starts off with a race. If you didn't know, Redline is all about cars and racing and shit like that. The crowd has some anthropomorphic people in it, and we can tell by the broadcasts that it's universe-wide, so we've got a pretty huge and colorful world to look forward to. The race that they're currently racing is called Yellow Line. Yellow Line and Red Line are racing leagues. I don't even know if they're racing leagues or if it's just races people can enter and they're big races. Anyway, they're known across the galaxy, so they should be pretty popular. And Redline is the race, you know. Our main character JP is racing in Yellow Line with definitely the smallest car out of everyone there. I don't know why. I don't know why they all have these long ass cars. It's ridiculous. And right off the bat, this reflects the art style as a whole. A lot of the proportions are extreme, the characters are wacky. We also meet JP's mechanic/manager as well, and his name is Frisbee. JP and Frisbee work together to fix races and earn money from winning bets. So the race commences and JP ends up crashing, but it turns out he still qualifies for Redline, long story. So now he's in the biggest race in the galaxy. We also meet the winner of Yellow Line, Sonoshi, who also qualifies for Redline. So they're racing together again, yay! And the Redline final race is set to commence on Robo World. So Robo World is this planet filled with some cyberpunk people who think that they are the superior culture. The ruler of the planet, Mr. President, that's his name, I promise, is worried that Redline is a plot to infiltrate and gather Robo World military information. Redline is a race broadcast across the galaxy, so if they race on the military base, they'll be revealing secrets to the enemies. Not only that, but Redline is quite destructive, so there will be chaos on their own planet, you know, that don't really want that. All the Redline races go to a Robo World moon nearby while they wait for the race. It's kind of illegal, but I guess it's a grey area. JP and Sonoshi flirt over some dinner, obviously, but dinner is interrupted by some soldiers coming in to flex their soldier militariness or something. At the dinner, we also meet a few other races, including Machine Head, who is the current Redline champion. This guy is probably twice the size of a regular human. He's huge. We also see a flashback of JP and Sonoshi. This makes this whole interaction a bit cliche, like JP secretly looked up to her for so many years and whatnot, but she can't remember him, you know. Some racers go annoy the military and uncover some secret areas. And I'm guessing Mr. President was right to worry because he is definitely hiding some shit. The Redline race happens on a military base, again, like he predicted. The military immediately tries to kill all the racers. So not only do these racers need to win, but they also need to kind of survive military attacks from various weapons and other vehicles, you know. So the action here kicks up big time. The race takes a while, so I've noted a few highlights before the finale. Number one, Little Daizuna, who I mentioned earlier, was part of the military, but he has some beef with a racer and joins the race? Is that even allowed? This kind of thing was never brought up, and I don't think that we even got resolution to that. It was never mentioned again. Number two, the two girl racers have like a joint car that transforms into a giant robot that fights some military people during the race, and then they transform back and continue racing. The fuck? Number three, one racer drills under the ground as a shortcut and takes the lead. I can't think of that working in any possible way. Drilling underground, somehow being faster than land travel, and then coming up in first place with the lead. I don't understand it at all. Anyway, eventually one racer accidentally crashes into a secret room and unleashes this giant monster. The monster has crazy destructive powers, so the military immediately nukes it. Okay, where are we going with this now? JP and Sonoshi get caught in the explosion, and while they repair their cars, they talk, and there's this flashback of JP explaining his origins of fixing races. Hey, I'm not such a bad guy, after all, even though no one said you were, except the media one time. Also, remember that monster? Oh, it didn't die, by the way. So the military releases another monster to fight it. Now it's gone completely off the rails. Forget about racing. Also, that's the last time we see any of the monsters at all. Alright, so the end of the race approaches. Machine Head and JP are neck and neck, and they each activate their ultra super nitros that they were saving until this very moment. That was at least kind of cool, except when everyone in the race activates all of their secret ultra super nitros, JP and Machine Head also have faster and faster nitros that they keep activating towards the end. So now it's really stupid, and it reminds me of that Fast and Furious joke where they always have a faster gear to shift to all the time. It's really stupid. So it's JP and Machine Head about to cross the finish line. The final cherry on top is JP's car blows up. So him and Sonoshi, they're driving together by the way, they fly just by themselves outside of the car over the finish line. So that doesn't really make any sense, like they flew out of the car after it disintegrated in an explosion, and then they crossed the finish line without a car. I guess it's allowed, they're allowed to cross it without a car. They're also glowing at this moment, so this makes me think that the Super Ultra Nitros gave them some sort of powers to survive. Anyway, they embrace and smooch and tell each other, I love you, and then the word love is displayed full screen with some hearts. The end. That's the movie. That ending has got to be one of the cheesiest I have ever seen. I also forgot to mention Frisbee's side story where he makes a deal with this other guy to fix races and make a bunch of money. He blew up JP's car in the first place, and I think he blew it up for the final bit of the race, but I'll explain more on that in a bit. So, first impressions is that the story is really bad. I was expecting more racing in a racing anime. There was a race in the beginning, which was actually a great introduction. Then majority of the movie is them building cars and meeting with other racers, kind of. But there's only 2 races in the whole movie. Granted, the last race is long. I would have wanted 4 or 5 races. Like, one race in the beginning, okay, he needs to qualify. 3 more races, boom, and then last race is Redline, or something like that. There are a few scenes that are completely pointless. I mentioned Frisbee blowing up JP's car in the first race. A mechanic also told JP that pushing the car like he did was risky, and it shows when the car physically starts falling apart. Here's an idea. Let JP blow himself up. The car is being pushed too far because of his ego. Let the car blow up, and Frisbee doesn't need to set an explosive in his own friend's car, which is actually so messed up because I bet JP didn't even know about that. It saves us screen time. Another scene is the monster/creature/secret military project. It was completely pointless to the story. Let me actually break down why. The military people wanted to nuke the races because this is a plot, so they want to try kill them. But then they failed because one racer snuck in and disabled the gun and whatnot. Okay, the gun is cooled down, but oh no, they released that monster. Let's use the nuke to kill it so it doesn't destroy the planet, or whatever. This second nuke actually affected the races like it was supposed to and causes JP and Sonoshi to finish the race together, etc. The monster still didn't die at the end, and they had that monster fight. Unless I missed something, we never got a resolution to that thing. We just moved on to the race and we just ignored that the monsters were even there. Why didn't they start the race, wait until the last stretch, nuke the races, and everything would have panned out the same? Leave the random fucking monster out completely, since the second nuke worked anyway. It's so weird. There's also the convenient JP always looked up to Sonoshi kind of cliche thing. Could have left out the flashbacks, would have been the same, but that's cutting out like minutes, so it's not really that crazy. So the story's not well put together, I'll give it that, which is a surprisingly big contrast to the visual quality, which brings me to what attracted me to this movie in the first place. When I finished the Akira review, link in the description, that movie was dope. I've done a review on that. I was doing some research, and people say that the animation in Akira was almost as good as Redline, or yeah, Redline animation is just as good, and Redline animation, oh, if you liked Akira, watch Redline. So here we are. And yes, the animation is pretty good. I have examples of what I liked and examples of what I disliked, just as like introduction. I liked JP blowing on a cup of coffee, and it looked pretty accurate. That was cool. I disliked cars speeding up with Nitrozo boost. It shakes a ridiculous amount during like the wind up. It's a bit much, you know. I liked the wind and flame effects and all the crazy flames, all that big stuff. I like those. What I disliked was the body movements. They're a bit too extreme. They look too goofy. Overall, the animation is very good. You can tell it's millions of very detailed frames, and a lot of moments stand out like, wow, that's actually pretty nice. Or other times it's a bit goofy, in my opinion. It doesn't make the quality bad. It's just not my taste. But I will give this movie like high points for its animation. The movie is also funny. It has its moments. A lot of the characters being goofy, it does come across as funny, and the dialogue too. There's also some nudity. Just a girl randomly topless for no reason. She's watching TV. Why is she topless? I will give big stink points. I'm not a fan of that. I'm always going to subtract points because sex sells. Booby time, yes. Voice acting is fine too. Same with the music. It's pretty cool. Nothing crazy, but it did the job. So with that all being said, I give this movie a 7 out of 10. The visuals are stunning, of course, but the story is unfortunately a huge miss. The pacing was bad, a bunch of the arcs never resolved, and there's just a few pointless scenes. Otherwise, if you just want to watch some cool visuals, then absolutely this is the movie for you. If you like racing, if you like high octane, like nitros and all those things, that's good. If you like cars, watch this. It's a cool movie. Side rant. I'm also interested to see new character designs for such wacky worlds, especially anthropomorphic anime. You don't see a lot of that, so it was really interesting to see what this movie had in store, and man, it did not disappoint. Holy, that these characters are crazy. Especially Machine Head and his car. That thing is like one with him, and it just obviously gets more extreme the more nitros he activates, but like it was cool. I like unique character designs. That was awesome. But anyway, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.